Hey
Yeah, sure
guys,
enough.
how
Okay,
you
so
doing?
that's what I
I'm
thought.
playing
Like, it
Space
seemed like all the
Astronomy
rooms in the
again,
sewers
and
have
yeah,
some
I've
kind
just
of
been
issue
off
with
camera going
having no
around
partner.
placing
It's some
torches
property
and
exclusive to those
everything.
rooms, I
So
believe. I
yeah,
imagine if we could reach beyond this one, we need Bombette.
alright.
But if
What
we
I
could
think I
reach beyond
might
this
do in
one,
this episode
it
is
would still
build some
crash in all
sort
the other
of
sewers rooms
warehouse.
too. I tried the Dark Koopas,
So yeah,
I tried to operate correctly.
alright
Lots of
guys, so yeah.
scripts not
The
really
warehouse,
finishing, I would
I'm pretty
imagine.
sure is
The
what we're
thing that's
gonna
strange
make.
though is the
So
inconsistency.
I
It
also
doesn't
off
crash
camera
during
got
certain
some
cutscenes
wood.
when partners have dialogue,
So
others
yeah,
it will. Maybe
I'm
we'll be
gonna
able to
build
figure
it
that
out
out
of
in the
that.
future. If you want
Let's
to keep up to
hopefully
date
be able
with
to make it
that,
through
check out
well.
my Twitter and Twitch, both Archstrider7x, and maybe subscribe because there's a lot of cool stuff still in the works. As always, thank you for watching.
Ah, what happened? Oh, I probably hit F11, which, yeah, it does this. It makes it full screen. That's what it does. There we go. Wait. Ooh, carpenters? Alright. Oh, it's in the game. Alright, carpenters split off. How do you get these? I think you just shape it. Right?
What's up guys? I'm very excited to bring you the most requested video on my channel, the top 10 glitches in Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. Now I might know what I'm talking about when it comes to Paper Mario 64, but in TTYD I am no expert, meaning it took a lot of collaboration with my friends who helped break this game to bring you guys this video. So let's go ahead and get started with number 10, the Mayor Cutscene Glitch.
Scaffold.
This minor glitch occurs during Chapter 4, where Mario is intended to speak with the Mayor of Twilight Town. Well, if you inch your way in between the tree and the right side of this house while in paper mode, you can actually trigger his dialogue from outside the house. This is only possible when the mayor is moving towards the front wall of the house, but can still be done pretty easily.
There we go.
Moving on to something a little more complex is the sort glitch, which takes number 9 on this list. When you have the pause screen up, there are a few menus that can be sorted by hitting the Z button.
How do you guys think we should
From there you can select the sort method. But if you manage to unpause and hit A on the same frame, the game will incorrectly open the sort menu the next time the game is paused. On top of this, the standard start menu cursor can be used, but cannot be seen.
Oh, I don't know. That was
If you choose to use an item in this state and sort the menu at the same time, the item will be used, but will remain in Mario's inventory. This effectively allows you to use restoration items infinitely.
Make this even.
The sort glitch can also lead to a game crash if performed by sorting Mario's emails while currently reading one.
Jail blocks. Okay.
Number 8, the playing game glitches.
Sorry about that, guys. It was something weird.
While flying in the playing minigame room, you can pull up a menu to quit the game early at any time. If you bring up this menu while Mario is about to land, you can choose continue and jump. This is a very precise glitch, but you can repeat it for as long as you like. Canceling Mario's plane ability instantly and then performing this glitch allows us to jump around the out-of-bounds scene. This can be abused to get the maximum distance possible, and if you make it all the way to the end, you'll even see the crowd floating out of bounds when jumping off the edge.
Perfect. Well, not perfect.
Number 7, Goombella buffering.
I'm working on it.
To an experienced Paper Mario player, Goombella's out-of-battle ability might seem a bit underwhelming, as she simply describes the area and gives puzzle hints to the player. However, speedrunners have found a use for this ability by using her area tile to disable loading zones. When you use Goombella, there's a 4-frame window where Mario can move before the text appears. If you move on the last possible frame, loading zones will not take Mario into the next room, allowing us to repeat this glitch until we've bypassed the loading zone's trigger. From there we can get out of bounds, allowing us to skip a few sections of the game, such as the fights before Swamp Fortress, the Puny Cage in Chapter 2, and even allows us to obtain Bobbery earlier than intended. This notable application of the Goombella buffering glitch, appropriately named Bobbery Early, requires Goombella buffering to get out of bounds and lining Mario up with this back wall. From this position, we switch to Yoshi, tap up to fall out of bounds, and hold down for a certain amount of time to first strike an ember stored beneath the room. In the first two Paper Mario games, many objects are stored
Is
out of
there a
bounds
difference?
1,000 units below the
In
room's
some
origin for cutscenes. Some of them even retain their hitboxes, just like
I
this
like that.
Ember.
It looks like a
Following the
warehouse
fight, the game
store.
state is set to Chapter 5, making it possible to obtain Bobbery.
There we go.
The fish glitch, which led to one of the first major sequence breaks in this game, functions similarly to Gumbella buffering, but can only be done with Miss Mouse. Exactly 3 frames after using Miss Mouse's ability, Mario can hold a direction and fall into a body of water. Miss Mouse will begin speaking as Mario is catapulted through the air by the chompfish, and closing her text box grants us control of Mario while airborne.
This way? Yeah, so like this.
The HP Drain badge can be obtained before Mario is cursed with the Paper Boat ability thanks to this glitch. It also involves walking on thin air.
Oak? Not what I want. Spruce. It looks much better.
The most well-known application of the fish glitch allows us to reach the top of this block, meaning we can hit the blue switches and access the Chapter 5 and 6 pipes early.
Perfect. Not perfect. That is incorrect. Same thing as last time.
In the Japanese version of the game only, Mario can enter a glitchy state of paper mode if you hold R while Bobbery explodes from holding X too long. Mario is able to walk at full speed despite being paper thin, and can even interact with doors, which is normally impossible.
There we go, much
Performing
better.
this glitch into the Magnus von Grapple 2.0 encounter will cause a bit of cutscene glitchiness, which will persist even after the fight. And better yet, it'll continue into the Bowser intermission. Paper Bowser is quite limited, but a few interesting animations occur while messing around. You can also enter Tube Mode as Bowser, which can cause him to fall out of bounds or clip into walls. Or just that.
There we go. Perfect.
Number 4 is the Paper Mode item jump. While Mario is in paper mode, we can quickly release the R button and pull up the item menu using the D-pad, all while holding the A button. This will buffer a jump and allow us to use the item in the first inventory slot if we continuously mash A.
How do you guys
It's incredibly challenging, but if done perfectly, the item will be used while Mario is ascending during the buffered jump. This glitch forces a double jump when the item consumption animation begins, allowing us to scale high walls and objects.
Oh yeah, that looks nice. Just maybe add...
By performing a paper mode item jump behind the sign in the Twilight Town shop, you can clip into the wall and access the store room early. This ends up skipping a bit of backtracking during Chapter 4, and also results in some minor texture glitches.
Do that. Alright, perfect.
Another use for the extra height granted by a paper mode item jump is the ability to skip obtaining Yoshi in Chapter 3 by jumping up to this platform. When you skip Yoshi and defeat Dupless in Chapter 4, you'll receive a green Yoshi with the default name Yoshi, even though you've never met him. Flurry Super Sliding takes number 3 on our list. If we stand in front of a door, use Flurry, and then open the door 3 frames later, Flurry's ability will activate while we attempt to enter. As long as the control stick is neutral, we can choose to activate Flurry's ability even more while Mario walks through a door. This changes Mario's angle and can be exploited in many ways.
I'm almost out of
It's worth noting that the change in angle is different between the English and Japanese versions of the game, making some glitches version specific. Performing a Flurry Super Slide in the Rogueport badge shop will cause a bit of glitchiness upon re-entering the room, and the badge selection cursor will remain on screen.
At least now all the
It would appear the badge sprites were moved to the room's origin, and are layered on top of each other in a way that causes some interesting visuals while moving. By repeating the Super Slide glitch multiple times, you can stack more cursors on screen, and the game will eventually crash. Another major glitch can be pulled off from the same room by Flurry Super Sliding into the end. By inputting X on certain frames of the Super Slide, Mario can skew his angle onto the front wall seam of the end, and can navigate it over to the Ultra Hammer chest. There's a small window where Mario can open the chest from on top of its platform and retrieve the Ultra Hammer early. A side effect of obtaining the Ultra Hammer using this method is Toadette will be invisible. Yet another sequence break exclusive to the Japanese version can be done by entering paper mode and sidling this poorly meshed pillar to pull off a variant of the Bobbery glitch. If we open a door in this state, Mario will remain outside of it. So we can pull off a flurry super slide that will land us in the teleporter room due to the camera angle. Using the teleporter allows us to skip to Chapter 7 after activating a trigger, as soon as we have flurry. Those of you already familiar with glitches in this game knew that the Flavio glitch had to make this list. Thanks to other glitches that allow us to access the Keelhaul Key pipe early, Flavio can be recruited as a permanent follower. Simply reach the point in the game where Flavio temporarily joins Mario, leave the island using the pipe, and trigger past the cutscene where he leaves you. Flavio ends up joining not only Mario's adventure, but also Peach and Bowser's. In fact, Princess Peach comfortably lets him watch her shower.
There we go.
While there are many cutscenes that are made more enjoyable with Flavio's presence, I want to highlight a fairly obscure glitch that occurs with the Chapter 7 changing room. If you enter from the vent, Mario and his partners are turned into 8-bit sprites until you leave the room, but with Flavio as your follower, you'll actually leave the room with 2 Flavios. In fact, this new and improved Flavio behaves as your partner outside of battles. He can gain every partner's ability, and they're pretty interesting on their own. Flavio can help give Mario tips, can spin really fast, explode on command, and if you have Miss Mouse, he can sniff out treasure. The only partner that this glitch doesn't work with, unfortunately, is Yoshi. Either way, the Flavio glitch is a lot of fun and is definitely worth giving a shot if you're looking for a slightly different Paper Mario experience. The number 1 glitch in Paper Mario The Thousand-Year Door is Palace Skip. In Chapter 8, there exists a room which changes into a staircase depending on Mario's story progress. The loading zone below this room is active even when the staircase isn't, so reaching it would allow us to skip a few rooms in the Palace of Shadow. Skipping those areas also allows us to basically skip going to Chapter 4, Chapter 5, and Chapter 6, since we wouldn't need any partners or upgrades from those areas. Even though the room itself doesn't have much to work with, it's possible to reach that loading zone using glitches. The first step is to perform a slight variant of Goombella buffering into an item, where we perform neutral jumps to lock Goombella's follower queue. This gives us a 1-frame window to collect the item while Goombella's tattle is buffered. Combine it with the encounter, and we have a form of text storage, which can be used to break partner abilities following a fight.
Decorating.
We do need to keep this text up while playing, so that requires a bit of micromanagement with the Z button. Afterwards, we position Mario near the background wall, and use the Ultra Hammer to spin Mario clockwise twice while facing left. This actually changes the direction Mario is facing, so if we switch to Yoshi during the fight, he will spawn relative to Mario's direction outside of battle, clipping into the wall. Then we enter Paper Mode to change Mario and Yoshi's hitboxes. Once the Ember is at an optimal position, we exit Paper Mode, pause, use an item on Yoshi to quickly force him out of Paper Mode, pause once again, clear the text storage, unpause, and press X to perform a Yoshi teleport clip into the ground while encountering the Ember.
Done. This whole thing isn't quite done.
After running from the fight, we descend into the loading zone, allowing us to skip a huge portion of the game in speedrun. I just want to give a huge shout out to the Paper Mario TTYD speedrunning community for helping me make this video. Special thanks to Malio for the glitch footage and to Solidified Gaming for ensuring these explanations were accurate. I'll be linking some resources for speedrunning this game, as well as the channels of active community members. So if Paper Mario The Thousand-Year Door is one of your favorite games, I highly recommend checking those out. As always, thank you guys for watching.
Man, all of it is destroyed. Some spruce is going to be the bottom.